So what else have you kind of found in recent months that is kind of like a core do or don't for brands when working with influencers?
I'd say it's probably kind of, ensuring that the product that you have to offer or the service that you have to offer makes sense to work with influencers to really kind of drive further awareness or help you kind of achieve what your business objectives currently are.
And I guess that reels into what channels you're using as well, because sometimes people will come to us and they're like, we just want Instagram influencers, and we're like, but actually this product lends itself better to TikTok influencers, for example, and the rates on those platforms are entirely different, because one is fully video led, one is on its way to becoming fully video led, but it's not just I'm going to do influencers. Like, there's a lot more that goes into it as well.
Yeah, precisely. And you've got to think about, who are you ultimately wanting to reach with this particular campaign or whatever your kind of business objective is, and where is that audience going to be?
Moving into that as well is where is the audience's attention and what's going to grab their attention.
Precisely.
So I think like the next thing is probably about creative briefing, and my like biggest pet here is like an influencer smiling into the camera with like
it's
a bottleneck.
Just the worst. Like, you can't expect to get results or expect people to kind of engage or really believe that that particular influencer is on board with that product if they are simply just kind of smiling and posing with a particular product. It doesn't.
And also like multi-hit campaigns, so like actually bring an influencer on a journey with you and like work with them multiple times, because as we all know, like, and we would do this in paid media, for example, so why do we treat influencers any differently?
Exactly.
We need multiple touch points to be able to convert a user.
Yeah, precisely, because if you think about that user experience and that user journey as well, it's not always going to be from kind of you've seen something on one platform and then that just makes you convert. It happens over time. So when you're working with influencers, you want to make sure that if you want to ensure that you're taking their audience on that journey with that brand or what have you, that they are consistently seeing you, it does feel believable that the influencer does actually really enjoy your product and service, or just generally your brand. And so it's kind of building those relationships with those influencers over time to kind of tell a more believable story.
Yeah. One that you're gonna love is I think sometimes people get confused and they'll be like, yeah, we understand that like this is going to be a brand awareness campaign, and then they go, oh, but we haven't seen any conversions off the back of them. Like, well, but you haven't even got conversion data. So I guess, how would you say people should approach influencer campaigns in terms of KPIs and goals from the get-go?
Set your KPIs from the get-go and be really kind of transparent about what it is that you are trying to achieve. Equally, kind of we as an agency, when working with brands, we will be really clear with you about what is and isn't achievable. If you're unable to get conversion data, for example, or just general website data, it's going to be really tricky to give you to give you a campaign that ultimately is driving conversions. So we'll kind of have those conversations with you, but yes, kind of setting those KPIs from the get-go and just being really clear about what your ultimate mission is. Of course, you can have kind of secondary objectives alongside all of that, but if your campaign is all about reaching new customers, reach is your ultimate KPI here. If, yes, you want to kind of see sales through influencer campaigns, you need to ensure you've got all of that tracking kind of set up from the get-go, that we can kind of support you in attributing that data with the right kind of influencer activity.
And obviously that's easier for like, standardized e-com brands, because we can use discount codes, we can do all of that. Like that's a little easier. And for TikTok in particular, where people can do TikTok shop now and they can be directly popped on to the influencers, and it's getting easier. But where it is hard is for brands that don't sell direct to consumer and they go through retailers and they don't get given access.
Exactly.
It just gets really tricky.
And that again is just why it's actually important to realise you can't just do one influencer post and then expect the world from that. It's about doing things over time, building relationships with those influencers and telling a believable story over a longer period of time to get their audience to buy into what they are saying about you as a brand. And that will only help in the long run.
You wouldn't just put like one out of home ad up.
No, exactly.
And go, okay, I've done it now. See ya.
Exactly.
My job's done.
Yeah. And then it's equally, you know, you can measure that as well through kind of an uplift in search volume, for example. So it's just kind of, again, remembering that influencers are not kind of typically
it's like a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
It like works as part of the marketing mix, if that makes sense. And
Precisely.
Nothing, particularly in social, works on its own. Like they need to work together. So you need to tie up what you're doing here with everything else that you're doing across the board. So yeah.